It's hard enough growing up and trying to figure out the world in general, and to have people sort of attack you. It's not fair.
Believe it or not, we've all been through it.
I was bullied my entire life. I was always made fun of because it was small, short, and fat. The color of my hair, the music I listened to,
the way I dressed, the way I looked.
And I was dangerously uncoordinated in sports, so that didn't help.
I was called everything in the book. I mean, the ones that hurt the most that you can't really say, you know?
People called me Dumbo.
They called me a boy.
I always like to block out negative things in my life.
It was really tough.
There are people who can help you, people you can trust.
Just believe in yourself, even when it's difficult.
Please don't change who you are. Please be proud of who you are.
Don't be a bully.
Be a star.
Show tolerance and respect.
Because I'm not booked.
Jay Silva, Pat Buck, Kevin Matthews, the bad boys of podcasting with a short fuse. 2.5 wrestlers rocking the mic. Listen up closely as they shed some light. They say it like it is, like it was, like it should be. Whatever's on their mind, getting down and dirty. Jay Silva, Pat Buck, Kevin Matthews, the bad boys of podcasting with the right views.
Put that on your podcast.
All right, welcome to a very special episode of 2.5 Wrestlers. Pat Buck cannot join us tonight, but it is myself, Jay Silva, and Kevin Matthews. Kevin, how are you?
Wait, hold on. It is myself, Jay Silva, and Kevin Matthews? It almost still sounded like three.
That's right. Should I just restart this?
No, that actually works.
All right.
It kind of flowed.
Anyway.
By myself, Jay Silva, and your other host,
Kevin
Jay
Matthews.
Silva. You should say we are joined by myself, and I'm like, and your other, I am Kevin Matthews, and you're like, and your third and final host, the unpredictable Jay Silva. The unprofessional.
Moving on.
Usually with Johnny Rods there.
We're going to be professional tonight, Kevin, okay?
I'm always professional.
So, tonight we have two former NXT talents, Chad Baxter and Drew Donaldson. I believe they were a tag team down there. I'm not sure when they were released from the contracts, Kev. Was it 2011, 2012, around then, right?
2011. No. It was, I think it was late last year. I think it was like December or something, 2012, or early this year. I think it was like December 2012. I mean, they'll be able to tell you better than I would.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I did one time when I was in Florida, I don't know if any of the developmental guys down there outside of the guys from the independents that got signed and sent down there, and one guy that was down with me in Deep South 7 years ago. It's surreal. Like, he's in developmental still
there?
With Bill. Yeah.
Who?
It's Fort O'Reilly, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, I can't think of in 2013, dude, that's still training with Bill. That's unreal. But, I did see a video package that one of my buddies made for them. It was the guy, Jared. He made a little promo package that I guess they were pitching to the office or something, where it was funny. They did like the Step Brothers skit together, and I actually want to get a hold of it and stuff like that, because you would appreciate it. It was funny. It would have probably made for good TV. I got a kick out of that. It was very, very unique, and I'm such a fan of Step Brothers. So, I mean, but aside from that, yeah, I don't know either of these guys from a hole in the wall. And the story behind this is,
well, you all share one big common interest.
Full Nelson, yeah, right. No, yeah, exactly. That's the way we came together. Is everyone, I mean, it's well times 1,000 times over documented about my love for Mr. William DeMott. So, Big Sweet William, that was his email. Big Sweet William at AOL.com, I believe it was. Literally.
Kevin, we might have some new listeners tonight, I'm hoping. So just maybe explain, you were down in DSW, developmental, and, explain your background a little bit, real quick, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I was, everyone who's listening to this realistically probably should know. I mean, I'm the guy that late last year made the internet headlines just by going on a rant on Bill DeMott. Not even it was a rant, but
you were just telling true stories.
Yeah, I went on Twitter and I was like, I had enough of this guy, so I just started saying truthful stories on Twitter one after the other, and then I was doing his hashtag democracy. I was pretending I was Bill, and I was saying real stories, like how he made Angelina Love do 40 up and overs till her patella tendon snapped in half, and all of these other stories, and Mike Taylor and Mac Johnson do squats until they had a hernia and they had to have surgery on that, and all of these other stories, these horror stories that he would put these guys through and stuff like that, and then the internet jumped on that, and what I was doing, I was portraying and letting the world know, not portraying, I was letting the world know how this guy is a bully. He's a legitimate 100% bully, and in a company, just as you heard in our opening intro, the Be a Star campaign, they air a Be a Star campaign. Don't be a bully. They have John Cena, Punk, and all of these superstars. Sheamus literally stand in front of a camera telling the world, be a star, don't be a bully. Yet the same company, what a bunch of hypocrites, the same company that is literally preaching this crap is the same exact company that has the biggest bully legitimately in professional wrestling currently heading their developmental training system. You have 80 plus talents under contract with this guy in charge. He's not in charge of not only their futures, whether or not they can make it up to TV, he's in charge of their physical well-being. He dictates whether or not these guys can stay healthy. He drives them to the floor. Just if he's in a bad mood, he takes it out on them, and I don't even know how to express it in words, like the disappointment, if you will. And if this was their first go around with them and they're like, whoa, what did we get ourselves into? I would understand that. But this is the guy who headed developmental in 2006, WWE pumping, I don't know, whatever they pumped into Deep South Wrestling total, a couple $100,000 or whatever the hell it have you within the 2 years, $1 million. I don't know what the hell went into Deep South Wrestling total. But this is the one guy who brought down that entire system that WWE structured in 2005 to 2007. This one individual single-handedly dismantled it and brought it down. Just by the way he is and the way he quote unquote trains people and the reports and injuries. Definitely with all the amount, not only with the money that they were paying talent that never made it because of him, that he got fired and they took his word on it. Who knows? They could have been main eventing WrestleMania by now. This is 7 years later. But all of the injuries, myself included, $30,000 or $15,000, $20,000, whatever it costs for my torn bicep. All the surgeries, a lot of surgeries, the Angel Williams surgery, all the surgeries that took place just because of him, just under his watch. I used to make jokes, lighthearted jokes. I said, Dr. Andrews is Bill DeMott's biggest fan. Because if they want to have Bill DeMott train head of developmental, they need to open it right next to St. Vincent's Hospital in Birmingham, Alabama, literally right next door. You could even do one of those connecting walkways like the hospitals have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Skyway ramp gimmicks, where right from training, you don't have to cross the street, you just walk through the lobby and it connects right into the surgical operating room of Dr. Andrews, where he's like, oh, what did you do now? Torn ACL, not a problem, just get in line, get behind those four sitting down. I used to make jokes like that, saying Dr. Andrews is probably Bill's biggest fan, and the reason is the amount of people he's hurt. And story's been well documented, and I said it before, where one of the things that I unleashed, or what I revealed a couple of months ago, was the story that a lot of this stuff was being kept under the radar. And I was that one guy. I wasn't some people are like, oh, you got your 15 minutes of fame. No, you fucking jerk off. It wasn't about 15 minutes of fame. It's about dozens and dozens and dozens, maybe 100 people that have been under him total, if not more, and nobody wants to speak up. People that are under contract are obviously too afraid because they will get fired, so I don't blame them. Unless they all come together, and it will take a lot for all of them not to get fired and for all of them to speak up together. They won't fire 50 people at once, but it'll never happen because there's too many people afraid. And what was I getting at?
Until now.
Yeah, no, the thing that I said was fucking, at one point, there was, I forget the exact number, the two guys, Drew and Chad, they'll say the story better. They were there for this, where there was 26 or 30 people injured at once, literally out of 80 people. You're talking more than 1/3 of their talent was sidelined with injuries because of Bill DeMott. Think of that number. And that's not, oh yeah, you're just bitter. That's me being bitter. Me being bitter injured 30 people in developmental out of 80 and sidelined them all at the same time. No, I mean, just sit there and think of that statistic for a second and let that sink in deep and say whoa, is Kevin exaggerating? But you'll find out Kevin's not exaggerating with that number, 30 people. And, I believe he told the talent not to report that to the office, if I remember correctly. And when I put that out there, I believe that was one of the things when the office came back and started questioning these guys, like, are you injured? Are you injured? And they really started like I credit to WWE, fucking rock on, because I know for a fact from my buddies down there and who are still down there that they went actually into developmental and give a lot of the guys calls and stuff, and literally asked the guys and grilled the guys and said, what is this about? What is this about? They took some bitter, quote unquote, bitter former Fed guy who never made it. They took his words for gospel and literally like had an internal investigation on them. So I actually, that's awesome. That's actually the basis of this episode. And, I know this episode is going to leak out there because this isn't going to be, Bill DeMott should die, blah, 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 blah. I mean, on a serious note, do I think he would be better off not on Earth? Yeah, because I think deep down, or a mental institution, unless he's getting checked into that and he's getting taken care of, then I really think he'd be better served not being here. Reason being, his sole purpose is to make people's lives hell. He's like almost like a walking demon. There's no good in him. It's almost weird when you I watch a lot of those shows on ID Discovery and stuff like that, and I see these serial killers and all this stuff that they do, and I'm not comparing him to a serial killer, but I guess I am in a way where he's not going to kill people. He's not going to take a gun. I mean, maybe me, but he's not going to take a gun and shoot somebody and stab them and hack them up. But it's these guys who just they're lifeless almost. It's they're sociopaths. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know what to diagnose Bill. There's something wrong about him. I don't know exactly. I don't know if he's a schizo. I heard people say that he's bipolar, that he suffers from bipolar disease. And some people say he's a schizo. I really don't know, but the more I think about him and the more I learn and try to really break down, and I read some of his book, the stuff he said about me and the way he twisted stories, and he took himself out of equations and put someone else in there and put the heat on them. And it's the same thing he's doing in developmental. And you'll hear stories about how, when the two guys get on, about the trainer, Rob, John Cena's friend, they're going to give you details. But the short of that story is those 25 guys that were hurt, that Bill hurt, those 30 guys, he blamed it on John Cena's friend, who was the guy's physical personal trainer, that would help the students get in shape. And Bill put all of the heat on that guy and got that guy fired. The guy, his name was Rob, and he lost his job over it. And that's what Bill does. He takes the heat off himself and he puts on someone else. And I'm almost thinking at first in 2006, I was like, this guy, he just knows how to play the game. And it's funny, like 2013, the game is the one in charge and the game's the one who hired him back. But the terminology play the game, yeah, I guess it means something different in 2013. But I would always think back on like, this guy's, he's fucking crafty. He knows how to play the game. And then as the years trickled on and then he got a second chance, and I even, when he got rehired, I almost thought like, I was like,
well, it's Tough Enough, right? Wasn't it Tough Enough first?
Yeah, but then I predicted it. I said when he was on Tough Enough, I was like, yep. I was like, he's going to wind up, and I posted it too. I said, he's going to wind up as a trainer. I knew it because I knew how he'll talk his way in there. And then when my buddies would tell me Bill was on the road after Tough Enough for no reason. He had no position. He was just there. And I was like, yeah, I was like, he's working his way in. I knew he was going to get Dr. Tom fired, and I knew he was going to replace him or I thought he was going to be brought in with alongside Dr. Tom, and then he was going to push Dr. Tom out. I knew something shady was going to go on, and that's exactly what happened because I knew how he operates. So, I mean, that didn't surprise me, but I almost thought, like, maybe he realized, like, holy crap. I was like, I don't know how I got a second chance at this bigger operation here in Florida than it was in Deep South, but I'm not going to blow this. And he's right back to the same shit he was. So, so anyways, I was talking to my friends, and I asked them, like, is this an act? Is this, I don't know how to fully read this guy. I don't know if it's legit or if it's, I don't understand what's wrong with him. Someone given the golden opportunity that he's been given again, and he spends, I know what I was going to say. He spends most of his time covering up stories. And, instead of